我以前長大嗰陣時都經歷過97，以前仲係 under British 嗰陣時嗰個街啊、環境啊、郵箱啊，覺得好相似。
直布羅陀咧，呢個係好似香港咁樣嘅福地嘅啫，因為政府咧好照顧佢哋嗰啲人，我哋喺度做工咧安居樂業、生活安定，仲翻去香港同埋英國做乜鬼啫？
佢就係嚟自香港嘅明明啦。
03年復活節嗰陣時嚟過呢個地方，我記得一嚟到咧，見到有香港樓又有九龍樓嘅餐廳，跟住就覺得好有親切感。咦，不如留喺呢個島嗰度睇下日後有冇啲咩發展嘅機會咯。後尾慢慢揾工咧，就揾到做而家做 e-commerce 嘅，我就負責一個安全部嘅經理咯。其實我最中意直布羅陀咧，就係佢一年咧300日咧都有太陽嘅。英國咧係成日都落雨啊、陰天㗎嘛。直布羅陀咧就好似一個 Britain in the sunny Spain。喺呢度做咗10幾年嘢啦，做咗5年之後咧，已經可以申請當地嘅身份。Standard 係20%，但係有個好處咧，就係凡喺呢度納稅咧，睇醫生咧就唔使俾錢嘅。
呢度咧就係街市，呢個就係個半 kilo 咯，即係我諗係港紙15蚊一個 kilo 度咯。
呢度啲人食嘢咧算係幾幸福嘅，即係佢有嗰啲 British 嘅 fish and chips 啊、西班牙海鮮飯啊，譬如話西班牙火腿啊。
Hello， 呢個就係冰冰啊。Hello，David， 你好。
早上。
你好。
手先啦！我啊姓廖嘅，上水嗰啲圍頭人嚟嘅，喺附近學校讀書咯。我哋讀到方溫咧就去英國，我讀得好少書嘅咋，冇我啲仔咁叻。我啲仔個個大學畢業，最逗賴係我啦。嗱，嗰個仔，呢個第二個 ，hello， 香港嚟嘅，香港嚟嘅嗰啲報紙嗰啲記者嚟嘅。Really？ 你同佢講中文都得㗎，佢都講中文嘅嗰個。以前香港揾食艱難㗎嘛，抌低條牛繩咁啊過英國㗎啦。咁啊佢幫嗰度老細做咗8年咧，佢喺呢度開分店，咁佢就叫咗我過嚟喺直布羅陀做大廚。咁跟住我爸爸又叫埋我過嚟，自己做生意。咁啊一做到依家咧就都40幾年啦喺直布羅陀，所以住咗咁多年我都唔願走。但係我每年都翻香港嘅。喂，你食嘢啊？食嘢啦，喂，係咪凍㗎啦？我哋做飲食嘅，梗唔會餓親啲朋友㗎啦嘛，知唔知啊？呢個星洲炒米，呢個椒鹽骨，呢個啤典呢幾樣餸咧最出名㗎啦。我初初嚟嗰陣時，我哋都揾80磅一個禮拜啦，但係如果喺英國揾35磅啫喎。掙錢容易呢度啊，因為地方細，冇咩地方去消遣。呢個鋪位就我自己買，我買嗰陣時都要100幾萬港紙。咁就梗係冇香港咁貴啦，但係都唔係咁容易做。頭一次做生意咧，政府會幫你㗎。你要申請，你開張啊，幾多錢啊咁樣嚟喺個稅嗰度扣咯。呢度都福利社會㗎嘛。你又打政府工好，到私人工好，佢哋一到退休咧，佢唔使話受兩餐。Give me kiss。Good boy，good boy。呢度咧，左邊呢邊咧就係地中海啦，右邊呢邊咧就西班牙嘅大西洋，對面咧就係北非。英國人咧就攞呢度咧睇住嗰個地中海海口。自從一個蘇聯暗咗台之後咧，英國政府退出㗎，唔做軍港㗎，交翻俾本地政府打理，用低稅率吸引賭博公司過嚟。Company tax 咧，我哋只係抽你10%啫。10幾20年咧，就吸引咗成過萬間公司過嚟做生意，政府多收入咯，咪咁起啲屋俾嗰啲人住咯。呢度政府你一流，冇得頂，佢哋起5成公屋俾啲居民住嘅，買唔起嘛，我幫你政府，你俾首期50%，政府幫你50%，唔同嘅咪再人口少咯。香港100幾萬人口，同埋咧而家嗰個政策咧，佢哋係有啲係錯誤嘅。我哋已經地少人多，佢仲每日放150個人過嚟單程證。香港政府全部用高地價政策，搞到啲樓從嗰啲民生脫晒節嘅，邊人買得起啊啲人啊？ 買唔起噶嘛，即係。好似香港人唔中意大陸咁啫嘛，直布羅陀人唔中意西班牙人嚟，係嘛？因為西班牙成日想攞翻呢度。直布羅陀同香港係有些少差唔多，大家都係同一個殖民地，但係香港唔同嘅，所唔同嘅就係95%嘅地方係租借地嚟噶嘛。直布羅陀咪一個島，永遠割讓咗俾英國咯，啊！最主要我哋好多認同我哋係中國人喎，黑頭髮黃皮膚喎，佢哋唔係喎，因為佢哋本身咧冇一個正統嘅人種，佢哋全部都係雜不甩嘅。啊！佢哋西班牙啊、英國啊、Malta 啊、意大利啊，我哋係個名叫做 Gibraltarian， 即係每人我哋係直布羅陀人啊，佢哋唔想做西班牙人喎，點同啊？仲有呢啲唔同。
Spain, it's a problem of history, isn't it? Spain want Gibraltar back.
No one wants to be Spanish, the people of Gibraltar. They all want to be British.
我而家身處喺英國嘅海外領土直布羅陀，唔同 BNO， 直布羅陀人所攞嘅係海外領土公民護照，佢哋可以自動攞到英國公民身份，亦都享有投票權。直布羅陀位於西班牙南面，係地中海沿岸一個半島，面向非洲大陸，緊守連接地中海同大西洋嘅唯一通道——直布羅陀海峽。喺直布羅陀大部分地點都可以見到呢塊巨石，佢就係呢度嘅地標。直布羅陀只係得大約3萬人口，佢嘅面積都係得6.7平方公里，大過油尖旺區少少啫。但係因為佢嘅戰略地位，就令佢成為歷史上兵家必爭之地。1704年，英國攻佔直布羅陀。西班牙喺1713年簽訂條約，將直布羅陀永久割讓俾英國，到而家已經306年。
I'm under Britain, no doubt about that.
British. I prefer the British.
西班牙一直聲稱擁有直布羅陀嘅主權，但係呢度嘅居民就透過2次公投，清晰咁反映咗民意。1967年首次公投，99%嘅選民希望留喺英國。2年後訂立憲法，規定英國唔可以擅自決定直布羅陀主權，要透過當地人民決定。到咗2002年第2次公投，98%嘅選民反對英國同西班牙共享直布羅陀主權。
The education system is the same. Also speak English. The bobbies are around here just the same.
We just don't follow the same culture as they do. We follow more the British culture. Like the times they eat much later than us. We eat more towards the British times.
I think Gibraltar we live well here, good wages, but in Spain, the economic is not the same.
直布羅陀政府喺憲法下享有高度自治，首席部長同埋議會都係由人民普選產生，佢哋亦有獨立經濟，以金融、旅遊業同網上博彩為主。當地更加有海水化淡同埋3個發電設施，水同電都可以自給自足。過往300年有好多移民嚟到直布羅陀，大部分直布羅陀人嘅家庭背景都融合唔同文化種族，包括英國、西班牙、馬爾他、意大利同埋猶太等等。呢個情況令當地出現獨有嘅語言 Janito， 結合咗英文、西班牙文同埋各地移民嘅語言。
Pavement, acera, marchapié. Thank you. Gracias. Thank you,
但係當地而家以英語主導，越嚟越少人喺日常生活中使用 Janito。直布羅陀人 Del 就好希望保存呢個獨有嘅語言。
Janito is number 1 at the top in terms of my identity as a Gibraltarian. There's not that many countries which have a language which is exclusive to them. And it helps Gibraltarians differentiate themselves from English speakers and Spanish speakers. So it is something which is unique to Gibraltar that has given us a part of our identity.
2009年， 直布羅陀第一次有代表贏到世界小姐冠軍。凱恩2年前更加被任命為直布羅陀市長，負責大使同交流工作。
Not everybody knew where Gibraltar was. Some of them thought that we were Spanish because of our close proximity, because Gibraltar is such a small place that we never thought that it would have been recognized out of so many big countries. Here in Gibraltar, I feel that we've suffered some big difficult times in our history. The evacuation, for example, during the World War II was very difficult times for Gibraltar. They had to live abroad in a place where they didn't know, one of them being Jamaica, London. It was a big connection there when everybody came back after those difficult times. Because we are such a small community, we are very, very close.
So do you proud to be a Gibraltarian?
Very proud, yeah. I consider myself a Gibraltarian before anything.
後邊嘅就係由直布羅陀通往西班牙嘅關口，你見到後邊黃色嗰棟大廈就已經係西班牙境內啦。而家有好多西班牙人會來往直布羅陀工作，亦都有好多直布羅陀人嚟到西班牙居住同埋消費。但係喺1969年，西班牙曾經完全咁封鎖咗邊境，切斷咗物資運送，亦都令好多家庭分隔兩地。直到1982年，因為西班牙想加入歐盟而唔可以封鎖成員國，邊境先至重開。呢段歷史喺直布羅陀人心目中難以磨滅，同時建立咗佢哋嘅身份認同。近年嚟，西班牙就加強邊境檢查，令邊境一帶經常排長龍。直布羅陀人 Johnny 退休之前喺當地電視台做攝影師，曾經多次採訪排長龍嘅情況。
Whenever they have a problem in Spain, they either use Catalonia, so Barcelona, or Gibraltar to get the Spanish people's minds off their own problems. They start blaming on us, on Gibraltar, little Gibraltar. So at the frontier they check every single car and every single person, everybody. They are also punished their own people. All this stretch of road gets on with the queue.
Johnny 話：3年前有過8個鐘嘅車龍，今年2月亦都有4個鐘嘅車龍。本地居民都要做義工，派水俾車入邊嘅人。
Unless something politically happens, like the UK complains that they have entered into our waters with no permission. It's even happened because of football match. England has won Spain, and we here come out like celebrating. The next day we're accused. We are British Gibraltarian. We've been like that for the past 300 and odd years. Why should we have to become something that we are not? Why? It's unfair. It is. 英國喺2016年舉行脫歐公投，高達96%嘅直布羅陀選民都希望留喺歐盟，但係最終都要跟隨整體結果脫歐。佢哋最擔心嘅係脫歐令直布羅陀唔再受歐盟法律保護，西班牙可以為所欲為。
We don't agree with Brexit simply for border control, and there's a lot of customs issues as well, free trade, freedom of movement.
We depend on the frontier for free movement. We are going to be out of the European Union, that we will need to get a visa every 3 months, and if that is the case, it's a lot of money.
直布羅陀同西班牙南部有緊密嘅經濟合作，佢哋每年向西班牙買入價值4億英鎊嘅貨物。每日有8000個西班牙公民嚟到直布羅陀工作。西班牙眼見直布羅陀人想留歐，就趁機向英國再次提出共享主權計劃。
So there is a very close economic interrelationship between the two sides and at a local level, but that doesn't mean obviously that we don't reject the Spanish political claim to the sovereignty of our homeland. We reject the claim totally and absolutely. On the issue of sovereignty, I think everybody in Gibraltar is united. We take the view that we have been British now for more than 300 years. That is for longer than some countries have existed, like the United States. And we believe, therefore, that gives us a right to self-determination in international law, which is that the future of Gibraltar should be freely and democratically determined by the people of Gibraltar.
雖然到而家呢一刻都唔知脫歐嘅情況會點樣，但係直布羅陀人都有一個共同嘅諗法，就係一定唔會回歸西班牙。脫歐議題持續咗3年，經過一輪表決，仲未有最後定案。等我哋重溫一下，究竟乜嘢係脫歐？英國脫歐係指英國唔再受歐盟法律以及單一市場同埋貿易協議限制，並且可以攞返移民政策嘅控制權。英國早喺1973年加入歐盟前身歐洲經濟共同體，但國內多年嚟都有反對歐盟嘅聲音。直到近10年嚟發生嘅歐債危機同埋難民潮，加上前首相卡梅倫履行競選承諾，英國終於喺2016年舉行脫歐公投，最終有52%嘅選民支持脫歐。公投結果入邊，主要係英格蘭同埋威爾斯希望脫歐，蘇格蘭同埋北愛爾蘭希望留喺歐盟。位於西班牙南面嘅英國海外領土直布羅陀，更加係高達96%選民希望留喺歐盟，因為脫歐將會影響當地同西班牙邊境嘅人員同埋貨品流動。西班牙又趁機提出同英國共享直布羅陀主權，但係英國同埋直布羅陀都強烈反對呢個主張。2018年底，英國同歐盟達成脫歐協議，預定喺2019年3月29號脫歐。但係協議2度被英國國會否決，歐盟最終同意押後脫歐日期。英國最後會通過協議，無協議脫歐，定係有其他方案，仍然係未知之數。
I think that the line that they draw is quite low. It doesn't sound reasonable.
Wow.So it's kind of a bit like a punishment. If you earn too much, you're not entitled, and if you earn very little and you can't survive afterwards.
If I had to deal with what you guys deal with in Hong Kong in Jib, I don't think I'd be able to survive. And if I have to give so much money away and be left with just enough money or whatever to be able to get food, pay the bills, I think I'd have to leave the country.
香港人口密度排名全球第4，僅次香港嘅就係英國海外領土直布羅陀，當地只能靠填海同埋改變軍事用地增加土地，加上金融同埋網上博彩業發達，有唔少外國人嚟居住同買樓，樓價上升令當地居民難以負擔，有人甚至要住喺樓價平3倍嘅西班牙城市。同樣面對土地問題，佢哋又使唔使為一層樓捱足一世
？I'm Noemi. I'm 30 years old and I live in Gibraltar. It's a 3-bedroom, the smallest bedroom, which belongs to my youngest daughter. Here's our bathroom, which is also a very good size. Here's the kitchen, open plan, beautiful views over here as you can see. We have a sea view. We get to see the sunset every evening. The location is fantastic. 5 minutes walk away from town centre. It's 50-50%, so we buy 50% and the other 50% belongs to the government. Otherwise we wouldn't have been able to afford buying a house in Gibraltar.
呢種單位屬於政府嘅可負擔房屋計劃。可以話係直布羅陀版居屋，政府會同市民成為共同業主，等於資助一半樓價。肯交出公屋單位或者等緊公屋嘅市民會優先獲得分配。 Noemi 同老公同埋2個女一齊住，佢做兼職，老公喺工程公司做嘢，2個人收入合共每個月25,000蚊。單位做20年按揭，月供係少過3000蚊，即係大約家庭收入嘅1%。
It takes quite a bit of our wage. It's a weight on your shoulders. In Gibraltar, they don't check on your salary. Only with the bank to see if you're entitled to be granted a mortgage. We have ministers living in affordable housing in Gibraltar.
政府喺2011年推出呢個計劃，已經起咗大約1000個單位，現階段會再出售1700個單位。
And now there's a lot more construction going on and going to happen. It's becoming a bit too much now. A lot of people live on minimum wage, large families with only one income. So buying a house is not for all of Gibraltarians, unfortunately, because we all deserve a house. So we need more real affordable, like government rentals, I would say.
呢個屋邨喺1950年代興建，係直布羅陀最早期嘅公屋之一。佢同香港舊屋邨，例如西環邨一樣，由同一個殖民基金資助興建。我哋今日就約咗一個直布羅陀嘅公屋居民做訪問，去參觀下佢屋企。而家就去揾佢屋企啦。Nicole 喺直布羅陀開托兒所，每個月收入大約16,000蚊。佢同一對仔女一齊住。
This is a 3-bedroom. I pay about 112. It's affordable, so it means that you have a better way of life. You can afford to have a social life, so you're not just surviving and struggling. The environment's all right. Unfortunately, it's like the houses do need a lot of work. The Government Housing Works Office send a certain agency out. They will fix any problem. It's a very long waiting list. I'd say it's pretty safe. I think people here look out for each other.
村入邊仲有一個 social club 委員會，每個星期都會為居民搞下活動。雖然直布羅陀嘅公屋同香港有同一個淵源，但係兩地嘅制度就好唔同。
You could be an executive manager earning thousands of pounds, or you could be unemployed. Being local, you can apply for a government house.
Not that I know of. The only way they would be able to have access to a government house is if they were married to a Gibraltarian woman or man and they were living with them and they put their names down on the house, but the Gibraltarian is the main householder.
The house is in my name. My son is written down on the papers as he's living with me. When I die, my wife dies, he goes, changes the name from my name to his name. The house carries on for him.
不過有居民就反映，冇審查同埋細集令唔公平嘅情況出現，例如有富戶持有單位收租，甚至喺西班牙買大屋都可以繼續住喺公屋，而有需要上樓嘅人就要輪候多達5至20年。
I'm 22 years old. I work as a lift technician. I'm earning roughly around 1,200, 1,000 pounds. In Gib, for me, I wouldn't be able to rent a house. The studio, which is basically one room where you've got the kitchen and a bedroom. It would be a monthly rental of around £1,000, and that is just about my wage. I think my choice would be either I stay with them and wait for a government house, stabilize myself in my job, try and get as many raises as I possibly can to get more income and get a 50-50, or rent out a cheaper house in Spain. It is one of the worries, but there are other ones. For example, there might be government jobs that require the manpower, but they don't release the vacancies for unknown reasons. And that's what worries more, because if you get a government job, you're more than certain to be there and stable without a problem, earning a decent amount of money.
布羅陀嘅機場跑道，而隔離打直嗰條就係直布羅陀嘅主要道路。
Like 5 minutes, I'd say, because I live right here, and obviously the airport's just across the road.
So every time you drink in the stadium, there are planes coming by?
Nearly every time, yeah. I don't mind, yeah. I'm used to it.
直布羅陀係西班牙南面嘅英國海外領土，機場營運來往英國同摩洛哥嘅航班，平均每日有13班機升降。佢同時係一個軍用機場。因為直布羅陀面積太細，機場跑道要橫越主要道路丘吉爾大道，呢一條亦係去西班牙嘅唯一通道，所以佢被評為世界上第5大危險機場。我諗呢個係我人生中第一次見到呢個奇景啊！咁多車喺度等緊咩呢？佢哋等緊飛機降落先可以再次通行。
When an aircraft is at 16 miles, we shut the road to pedestrians. At 12 miles, we shut the road to cars. We put on a vehicle that looks to make sure that no rubbish has been left in the runway. Once they're happy with that, then we tell air traffic that the runway is clear and it can then land. And we don't open up the road again until the aircraft is safely onto the apron, so that we don't have any terrorist incidents or any people just making mistakes and trying to get across the road quickly. I touch wood at this stage.
呢條跑道係靠填海延長興建，因為地理限制，跑道淨係長大約1800米，只係俾小型客機升降。距離跑道500米就係直布羅陀嘅地標巨石，遇上大風會造成強勁氣流。2月尾就有一架飛機因為強風冇辦法降落。
Only the captains are allowed to land. The co-pilots are not allowed to land.
除咗應對氣流，機師仲要識得急轉彎。直布羅陀位處西班牙南面嘅半島，特殊地理位置非常靠近西班牙領空。但由於同英國有主權爭議，西班牙限制直布羅陀嘅飛機只可以穿越部分領空，所以飛機喺進入雷達範圍嘅時候，會同跑道呈90度，需要向右急轉彎準備降落，好考機師功夫。當地唔少民居都係喺巨石旁邊興建，最近嘅大廈距離跑道只係得大約500米，所以大廈都有高度限制。
For every 1 metre up, you have to be 7 metres further away from the runway. Basically, when we get to the rock, we're allowed to have a 45 metre high building. Buildings in the town itself, we have some up to 70 metres.
提到危險機場 ，Chris 就話佢仍然好記得喺啟德機場降落嘅經驗。
I do remember seeming to wave to somebody in Hong Kong as they were putting their washing out as we landed. It was really exciting. The difference in Gibraltar is that while the town is very close, the aircraft don't fly over the town. The approaches are totally over the water, over the sea.
機場嘅位置原本係一個馬場，後來英國人喺2戰時期興建機場，初期用嚟做皇家海軍嘅緊急航空基地。1950年代就透過填海擴建跑道，等更多飛機可以降落。
The good thing about the airport is that you don't have to go all the way to Malaga. Instead of getting a 2-hour drive in the car, you go to get a taxi, you get your own car, and you get 5 minutes here.
Do you find the airport dangerous to you?
No, because it's normal for us. I like training here and playing matches as well.
Gibraltarians are very used to travelling and walking or driving across the runway, which is something that most people in the world don't get to experience. The amount of photos that we have with people standing in the middle of the runway and just being photographed as they look along the runway, it's quite incredible.
而家每日有14000人來往西班牙，交通量越嚟越大，所以政府正喺度興建隧道，等市民無需經過跑道去西班牙，預計下年完工。
When the gates shut on that road across the runway, I think the Gibraltarians will miss and look back with nostalgia on the opportunities they had of walking across their runway.
If they come with me, they see a better way of doing things. You think? It's a shame.
喺直布羅陀嘅 Main Street 會見到好多馬騮嘅紀念品，就連佢哋嘅銀仔上面都印咗馬騮。咁啊，因為同香港一樣，直布羅陀都有一座馬騮山，而且佢哋仲係歐洲唯一嘅野生馬騮。馬騮山其實係當地一座巨型石灰岩，巨岩嘅頂部係一個自然保護區。我哋今日就跟咗馬騮專家 Brian 上山。
There is a legend that says that as long as the macaques are in Gibraltar, Gibraltar will remain British. Most notably, in and around the Second World War, Winston Churchill himself, he actually reinforcements of monkeys because the numbers were down to almost around 4 animals.
呢啲馬騮嚟自北非摩洛哥同埋阿爾及利亞，據講係好耐之前由北非摩爾人帶嚟。多年嚟，佢哋都係直布羅陀嘅吉祥物。而家山上邊大約有250至300隻馬騮。
These monkeys are arranged in several troops. There's about 10 different family groups. Therefore, there are also 10 distinct territories in the Upper Rock. I know who they are.
So you can call their names?
Well, not their names because they don't respond to their names. Remember, they're not pets. They are free-living monkeys which are habituated to people. He's a migrant male. In fact, you can see some scars on his face because he's always under attack because he's not welcome here. When they present the backside, it's always a submissive posture.
一般上嚟巨岩嘅遊客只會花15分鐘睇馬騮，但係呢個導賞團就花近2個鐘，希望俾遊客了解更多馬騮嘅行為。
When there's nobody about and the monkeys are relaxed, what tourists get to see is monkeys jumping on top of them, monkeys snatching food, monkeys fighting amongst each other, which is not the real monkeys. 巨岩頂部係政府設置嘅餵食站，每日朝頭早都會由專人提供新鮮蔬果。呢度同時係遊客聚集點，因為可以見到直布羅陀嘅全景。喺呢度，我哋就見到馬騮嘅行為同之前所見嘅完全唔同。 But people don't quite understand that. They see a monkey and they almost treat it like a pet. And obviously the monkeys don't normally like to be stroked by a stranger. So the monkey might direct a threat posture.
其實直布羅陀政府訂立咗罰則，餵飼馬騮最高可以被罰款500磅，但唔少遊客仍然無視規定。
The tourists, do you speak English, most of you? The way the monkeys are being presented to you is not sustainable. There are consequences to the monkeys. Do you realize that? Of what? These are not pets, right? It's up to them. I can't force them. You think? It's a shame.
雖然喺直布羅陀有馬騮嘅浪漫傳說，但 Brian 就形容居民對馬騮又愛又恨，因為冇任何屏障，佢哋好輕易就可以爬落山。
They would use the fortification walls of Gibraltar as natural highways to get a direct connection with the upper town area. Whether up here or down there, the tourists will respond to them in the same way, almost celebrating them. There's no need to interact with them, certainly no need to feed them. They are much better left to their own devices and observed respectfully.